So, Keith, tell me a little bit about your initial thoughts when you heard the news that you'd be a part of the 2026 induction class.
Well, I originally thought y'all were scraping the bottom of the barrel to get some people. But other than that, I felt a distinct honor of being included in this group of people.
No, yeah, I mean, you have definitely quite the resume to be a part of it. So, I want to say congratulations first off. Tell us a little bit about your early years. How did you get into football? Was it anything you can add about how you kind of got into your career?
Well, I started playing football in the seventh grade at Queens Intermediate in the Pasadena School District, and started out on the second team B team and didn't know anything about it and wasn't very good. And one day uh, I had an asthma attack, and the coaches basically told me to quit.
Oh
And
man.
I went in the dressing room, got mad, and came back out, and we were in a tackling drill. And I heard a few people, and all of a sudden I was on the 18 first string on both offense and defense. And the acceptance of being able to do that is what got me involved.
Yeah. And what was some of the what were some of your biggest motivations early on?
Well, it was just hanging out with people to begin with, and I was an interdistrict transfer. I transferred from Pasadena High School to Dobie High School between my freshman and my sophomore year. And as a sophomore at Pasadena, I mean at Dobie, I didn't know anybody, and football is how I got to meet people and get to do things, and that's where I really started getting interested in football. I had some coaches take a real interest in me and started developing me.
Yeah. And at what point in high school did it click that, you know what, I think I might be really good at this and I might be able to go to the next level?
Well, as a sophomore in the beginning of my junior year, there was a coach there named John Bryan. He was actually the boys' track coach, and offensive line coach was his second choice, or it wasn't his primary duties. And I love playing defense, but he wanted me to play offense. And he drilled me like crazy. I had never played center before, and he wanted to make a center out of me. And I really did not like the man at first. He practices were tough, and he was tough on me. And at the end of my junior season, I started being contacted from many colleges
Wow.
about the potential of going on. And at this point, I had never even thought about going to college. And the things that the colleges that nobody was recruiting me to play defense, everybody was recruiting me to be a center.
Wow.
And when I asked them, why, because I really wanted to play defense, and they said, well, you already have been trained, you already know the steps, you already know what it takes, and we can tell that you're very coachable. Well, at that point, I loved Coach John Bryan because he had set my future by training me so hard my sophomore and the beginning of my junior year. And that's when I really saw the future in it.
Yeah. And what are some of the things that kind of prepared you for, well, I guess you talked about how he was able to drill you and kind of prepare you for it, but what are some of the things that specifically for a center that people might not know that are some of the really important things going into the college area?
Well, one of them is just your steps. One thing is, as an offensive lineman, you always step forward, you never step back. Uh, that sounds a little funny, but it's a real simple thing. You always step toward wherever your block is.
Yeah.
He also taught me about being physically tough on the line and he also taught me to be a nice person off the field, but when you walk across the chalk line, the other team is your enemy and it's a battle. And so it's okay to be tough and mean on the field, but you leave it on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And going to Rice, then how was that transition for you?
It was completely different. I was not prepared for the academics, that was for sure. And that was a real shock. The football side of it, one of the reasons I went to Rice or chose Rice was I knew by going to their games and seeing their players that I could play a lot early.
Hmm.
Even though I was quite small for a lineman in the old Southwest Conference, I wasn't the starter my freshman and sophomore year, but I started more games than not, and I played more. I played over 50% of the time. Um, got hurt a lot, got beat up really bad, but it it's completely different than high school. But it taught me even more to be tough and overcome obstacles. And Rice was not a very good team by any stretch of the imagination. So it taught me to perform and do my job, even though things weren't going good around me.
Yeah, and what were some of your personal favorite accolades from your career there?
At Rice, well, I was really happy that my senior year I was able to play every offensive down without being hurt.
That's huge.
Yeah, and get through it without injury. Um, I made the second team All-Southwest Conference. I was honorable mention my junior year. Uh, but looking back in hindsight, one of the things that was really I feel really good is as I was able to compete head up with some of the best players in the world that went on to be all pros and significant players in the NFL. And even though I got my tail handed to me on several, I got to go up against these guys and test myself.
Absolutely. Was there any one matchup that you still think about to today?
Well, there's several, but one is the former linebacker and head coach of the Bears, Mike Singletary. He played middle linebacker at Baylor all 4 years I was at Rice. So I went against him 4 years in a row. And he was the only player in my career that I ever went up against that at the end of a play, I was looking out my ear hole.
So for anybody that's uh, or I guess let me before I get to that next question, is there any lessons that you learned just throughout your whole career that resonate to you today?
There's lots of lessons: hard work, overcoming adversity, not letting things get in your way, just overcome, and also recognizing opportunities and taking advantage of them. And the other thing that I've learned is you don't get someplace by yourself. You get a lot of help. There, if I can relay a quick story from high
Yeah,
school,
absolutely.
when I came in as a sophomore, there was a kid that was a junior. His name's Anthony Dietrich, and he was supposed to be the next starting center for Dobie High School. And he learned real quick that I was going to be the one replacing, and the coach was training me to be that person. Well, Anthony took me under his wing, befriended me when I didn't have any friends, taught me what he had been taught, and supported me even while he was sitting on the bench his senior year. Uh, he taught me a lot about friendship and family and being able to enjoy the simple things in life and not over striving, enjoying what you've learned. Now, Anthony and I have lost touch. I hadn't talked to him in years. And but he was a very important part of my life, realizing that you don't get someplace by yourself. You get there with the help of a lot of other people.
Yeah. And is there any other messages that you would share for any players right now in high school or anybody that's looking to hopefully get to that next level?
Work hard, listen to your coaches, uh, realize it's not all about you, and support your teammates.
Yeah.
They'll take you over the finish line to where you want to be.
Well, Keith, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Congratulations again on the induction. Hopefully, we see you at the ceremony, and we'll hear from you soon.
Plan to be there, and I appreciate it, and thank you very much.